That is until Travis Kelce pushed the train off the tracks. Travis Kelce, I am not your dragon either, Ryan. He unfollowed the actor on Instagram.
Ryan Reynolds is unraveling after Travis Kelce openly called him out for supporting a fake company allegedly used to validate stolen texts in Blake Lively's chaotic lawsuit.
We haven't seen all the facts yet, according to Ryan.
The drama reached a breaking point when Kelce unfollowed him on Instagram, sending shockwaves across Hollywood and turning Reynolds into the public face of Blake's legal collapse. He keeps getting darker and darker. Travis Kelce didn't simply tap unfollow on Instagram. He body slammed Ryan Reynolds off the red carpet with one thumb. And this wasn't some casual digital detox. No, this was April 2025, baby. The weekend of the Time 100 Gala, Wrexham's PR-fueled victory parade, and oh yeah, Blake Lively's legal drama melting down faster than her box office credibility.
Good for them! I'm rooting for Wrexham and the team, but I just hate how Ryan and specifically Blake now get to use this as sort of a big PR opportunity for them. It's frustrating to me, I gotta be honest.
Timing was flawless. This wasn't merely an unfollow. It landed like a mic drop. A get me out of this chaos before it turns into a full Amber Heard sequel moment. Because honestly, Travis didn't casually scroll past. He stared at Ryan Reynolds and said, "I'm not your dragon either, bro." That's how ugly things have become. And don't overlook the quiet sniper lurking behind the scenes, Taylor Swift.
Travis Kelce, I am not your dragon either, Ryan. He unfollowed the actor on Instagram. We're going to come back to the reasons in a second and go through the details, but I want to rewind and show everybody what a weekend it was. Now, this was the weekend of the time, or I guess the Friday.
Her silence spoke louder than a Super Bowl halftime show. No likes, no comments, no reposts. The woman who can sneeze and dominate trends for 48 hours didn't budge. This wasn't shade. It was a full-on digital divorce, unfolding right as Blake Lively's circus of lawsuits and surveillance imploded in public. You can't write this, or maybe you can if your PR team is clearly working overtime like hers.
Blake is loving it. She is loving the attention. Ryan is loving the attention. He's getting tanner by the minute. So many people have commented on his.
Now, let's dive into the PR stunt Blake and Ryan tried to sell as a normal weekend. I'm not joking. 2 events in 48 hours. Full glam, red carpets, hand-holding, 4 smiles. First, the Time 100 Gala on Thursday. Then they jet to Wrexham's win on Friday. And let me tell you, the smiles were so wide, you'd think they'd just hit the lottery. Not that Blake was secretly battling accusations of legal manipulation and phone hacking behind the scenes. Like, girl, we see you.
Can't knock the Wrexham fans out there who are enjoying this win, which Ryan and Rob, to both of their credit, helped to get this team where it's at. It's just frustrating to see that she got to get shoehorned in.
They tried to sell it as a romantic power couple tour, you know, the We're Still Untouchable bundle, while the rest of us are out here dodging subpoenas and tracking legal filings like we're binge-watching an episode of Scandal. Meanwhile, Blake's on Instagram posting odes to her husband's soccer club, looking like Mother Teresa in a Givenchy gown.
Over the win as well, and of course, posting all her pictures from the day. And there she is, of course, and I don't like her style. I just don't like it. Yeah, there she, anyway.
She's gushing over the win, naturally posting every picture from the day. And there she is in her, well, let's just say, not my favorite style. Anyway, you know what really got me? Ryan being Ryan, using Wrexham, a town that genuinely adores him, as a shield. He and Rob Henny helped revive it, sure. But now it's serving as a PR cloak to hide the fact that his wife is spiraling harder than a full-blown TikTok apology tour.
They showed up in Wales cheering on Ryan Reynolds' football team or soccer team, Wrexham. They were all over the place, all over the arena.
And let's not forget, Blake didn't just attend Wrexham's win. She inserted herself into the spotlight. Full glam, posing like she's the team mascot, except instead of cheering, she's subtly deflecting lawsuits with every photo op. The whole thing felt less like a celebration and more like a carefully staged distraction. And she's not even trying to be subtle about it.
We're PDAing all over the place, kissing and showing the world how much they love each other and how strong and united they are.
She's out here acting like a bargain bin Meghan Markle, playing royal adjacent and hijacking moments that were never about her to begin with. At this stage, the only sport she's competing in is deflection. This isn't some slick spy thriller with sunglasses and world-saving heroics. No, this is messy, low-rent spy drama, complete with allegations of shady iCloud access.
There was a bombshell. Jones allegedly had access to Jennifer Abel's cloud account and had access until January of this year. What Abel could not foresee was that Jones and Jones' work gross invasion of her privacy would not stop upon her departure. In fact, it escalated.
Legal documents surfaced. Yes, actual court filings, not tabloid gossip, confirming that Stephanie Jones had access to Jennifer Abel's iCloud account up until January 2025.
Stephanie Jones has had Jennifer Abel's phone this whole time, pretty much, getting her legal notes, getting all of her correspondence, private correspondence, for months.
As in months after their professional relationship had already ended. Let that sink in. This isn't a casual, oops, I still had the password situation. We're talking about ongoing, real-time access to private texts, medical conversations, legal counsel, and deeply personal communications. This wasn't harmless snooping. It crossed into digital stalking territory, the kind that carries serious, federal-level consequences.
Guys, a bunch of legal papers dropped last night revealing a ton of bombshells.
And guess whose name shows up connected to all of this? Go ahead, say it with me, Blake freaking Lively. Her legal team allegedly used those stolen messages to help fuel a lawsuit against Justinbaldoni, because why stop at trying to burn one career when you can aim for two? I mean, how do you go from starring in a mid-budget sequel to allegedly coordinating the digital theft of private medical texts? You've got to admit, the woman has range.
But anyways, the hypocrisy here is just so absurd. And just the fact that Blake is out and about like this, as I said yesterday, it's so bad for her.
But Blake, she acts untouchable. Or at least, that's what she thinks. Because if you judge her by red carpet appearances, you'd never guess she's tangled up in anything shady.
Friends were there to support them. Hugh Jackman stepped out. Even Emily Blunt, which, I like Emily Blunt. It sucks that she showed up at that and gave them a hug and was so excited to see her.
She's hugging Anna Kendrick, mingling with Emily Blunt, and acting like her world premiere isn't the perfect backdrop to overshadow the fact that she may have used illegally obtained messages as evidence in court. If that's not Hollywood privilege, I don't know what is.
He is with Anna Kendrick. Anna Kendrick got the note. All right, stop. Be nice to Blake, it seems. And here they are. Hugging.
Now, picture being Ryan Reynolds in all of this. You wake up, notice Travis Kelce has unfollowed you, and the internet is exploding, and you know exactly why. People aren't blind. They see the glam overload, then the court filings, and start asking questions while you're just sitting there like, hey guys, look at Wrexham. Isn't it inspiring? No, Ryan. Not today. Not when your wife is out here starring in a full-blown villain origin story with an iPhone and a subpoena.
And then on top of that, Travis is like, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm unfollowing him. I don't want to see him in my feed. I can't stand it anymore.
So yes, Travis Kelce unfollowed Ryan, and the internet completely lost it, because for once, this wasn't just fan speculation. It felt deliberate, a clear signal, a real-world celebrity saying, nope, I'm not sinking with this ship. And when you line it up with the exact moment Blake Lively's lawsuit chaos hit maximum exposure, that's not coincidence. That's timing. That's precision. That's someone paying attention, listening, watching, and finally deciding, I'm done. And honestly, same.
But he chose to unfollow him. Amidst all this positive press and everything that's out there, I really do believe Travis, Taylor, and many others are starting to really figure out who the...
Let's talk about this absurd thing known as the Vans and Inc. lawsuit. Because if Blake Lively's PR team thought they were being clever, they probably should have used something more convincing than a shell company that looks like it crawled out of the Jurassic era. Here's how it allegedly went down. Blake's team supposedly conjured a lawsuit out of thin air using Vans and Inc., a company that was inactive, irrelevant, and seemingly nothing more than an empty legal sock puppet.
Why? Simple.
They needed a retroactive legal cover for actions that had already happened, stealing texts, violating privacy, and manufacturing a narrative like they were pitching a Netflix thriller instead of facing real-world consequences.
With this information, if this is true, remember we were talking about how this is an attack back on Baldoni, but Baldoni can go, if Lively is acting in malice, she doesn't get protection under 47.1. This information, that their continued access to the iCloud account, that this was a sham subpoena, will help Baldoni block and completely undo any of.
And here's the real kicker. This was never about winning in court. It was about fooling the press, specifically the New York Times, into believing the stolen data had some kind of legal legitimacy. Even they weren't buying it. The whole thing reportedly smelled like rotten hummus in a Gucci bag. The Times allegedly refused to touch the story without a subpoena, and not some flimsy document whipped up in Microsoft Word at 3 a.m, but a real, verifiable subpoena with actual legal weight behind it.
That the New York Times was telling them, giving them notice, like, this doesn't look legit, and in reaction to that, instead of going, okay, don't use it, we'll be above board, they created this sham.
So naturally, Blake's camp, being the overachieving PR addicts they are, allegedly manufactured a subpoena. That's not journalism. That's stagecraft with a legal letterhead. The objective was simple. Create plausible deniability. Make it look official so when everything blew up, which it absolutely did, they could shrug and say, oh no, we had a subpoena. Totally legit. Meanwhile, that document was about as authentic as Blake's public humility. And what they did with that stolen data next. Oh, you're going to love this.
Is it illegal? That's the first thing. And I'm assuming someone on Jones's side is trying to figure out how do they make it legal. Then the second thing is that was there at one point, once the litigation started, an obligation to give notice to Abel that, like, hey, I have access to this stuff, either change your number or change or use another phone because, I don't know, maybe the number belongs to Jones. Those are the.
They allegedly cherry-picked and twisted texts pulled from Jennifer A.L.'s phone, messages accessed illegally, and framed both Al and Justinbaldoni as the villains, like some warped origin montage where Blake Lively plays the hero with a smug smile, pretending this wasn't a calculated hit job. It reads like Mean Girls if Regina George had an elite law firm, a crisis PR squad, and a standing Vanity Fair subscription.
Second thing is it's called self-help, which we have talked about before, which is chances are that she's continuing to get things, she being Jones is probably continuing to get things that probably in their mind helped or may not help the litigation.
And look, this isn't me being harsh. This is spelled out in legal filings of all places. They explicitly accuse Blake's team of abusive process, which is legal speak for using the court system like a personal Instagram filter. If anyone else tried something like this, they'd be dissected on every legal panel from The View to Law and Order, SVU. But because it's Blake, everyone's apparently expected to smile, applaud, and pretend she isn't orchestrating lawsuits the way someone runs a PR war room from a bunker. And here's where it turns dark. And no, not serious dark, but literal dark, because Blake Lively has essentially admitted this is who she is.
Dark.
Her response
is a bit darker in nature. How was it getting in touch with your darker side?
It was just more like all the facades that I put up, I just had to let go, so you guys got to see the real me. I'm just a dark, horrible person, and I just got to let my flag fly. So there you go. This is the.
Back in 2008, during the A Simple Favor promo tour, she openly admitted that her dark, unpleasant side was the real version of herself, and she said it without blinking. She casually told the press that the scary, manipulative character wasn't much of a stretch, basically her minus caffeine. At the time, people laughed it off. Now, it feels like we're watching that confession play out in real time. Only this time, it's not stilettos and smirks. It's subpoenas, surveillance tactics, and legal maneuvering unfolding right in front of everyone.
parading down the street like they did no wrong, Like, all is well. Oh, I got to celebrate how much of an advocate I am for women, and Time celebrated me. And then my husband gets to go, and the whole town celebrates him. Yay. And then I get to go to my world premiere. It sure doesn't look like you got any damages, girl. Looks like everything's just going hunky-dory.
Jump to 2025, and the makeover is finished. She's not even trying to hide it anymore. From spy-level iCloud breaches to media manipulation via bogus lawsuits, the girl boss facade is gone. What's left is someone so fixated on image control that she's allegedly out here breaking federal laws just to ensure her narrative wins the headline battle today.
But what we love about Emily, and particularly when Blake was playing Emily, is that she has this kind of like intimidating nature to her, but she's also like very sharp. They're both the
intimidating. She's very intimidating indeed. In fact, E.T. straight out.
And can we just talk about that A Simple Favor sequel premiere? Paul Feig, the actual director, reportedly called her intimidating. Not in a charming, she's fierce kind of way, no. He looked like a guy who had just signed an NDA and was silently praying the cameras would cut away.
Blake, the next night, stepped out for the Another Simple Favor premiere in New York City amid all the legal drama. And she came out. We got a lot of clips here. I'll show you the clips. Here's Ryan and Blake stepping out.
Beautiful couple. Stay in black. Stay in black.
You could feel it, the awkward tension. The press holding their breath, like one wrong question could land them in court. And Blake? She's gliding through it all, as if she's on a Met Gala carpet, not smack in the middle of a legal nightmare she allegedly helped orchestrate. The level of delusion is honestly staggering. It's like she's living in an alternate timeline where public perception can be bent purely by couture and confidence. Girl, this isn't Coachella, and you're not curating a festival look. Your name is being mentioned in federal filings, and no outfit change is going to style your way out of that.
Look, I don't think she's ever going to have any accountability for what she did. I don't. Look at her. Just eating it up at this premiere. She is in her dress.
And then there's Ron Zambrano, the lawyer every messy celebrity should fear more than a TMZ headline. This guy didn't hold back. He said Blake's team might have done something so shady that their lawyers could get completely disqualified. Let me repeat that. Disqualified, meaning they wouldn't even be allowed to practice law if the court discovers they were digging through attorney-client messages like they were TMZ leaks.
So he is able, through using this prefix, to put in allegations that he's doing in good faith, and I believe that they're being done in good faith, in order for it to stay, to prevent another attack on the...
Zambrano didn't hold back. He labeled this self-help gone rogue, which, let's be real, is just a fancy way of saying you cheated and got caught. Apparently, Blake's legal playbook was, don't prove your point, just secretly download someone's personal life, sift through the chaos, and present it in court like it's a PowerPoint slide, while acting like everything is completely normal and above board.
There's a new amended version of any type of either answer or claim. The other side gets a new opportunity to attack it with a motion to dismiss, or what we call a motion to...
But it's not just disqualification that's at stake. Oh no. The ripple effect here is massive. These shady tactics could open the door for new counterclaims from Baldoni and IEL, including invasion of privacy and, yep, more abusive process. Meaning, instead of weathering the controversy, Blake might have just poured gasoline on the fire. You'd think someone who thrives on red carpets would understand exactly what a spotlight does, right?
Well, she hasn't suffered anything, like the CEO of the Time 100 Gala said.
I think she's having a great year.
She's having a great year.
So let's talk about the moment even the New York freaking Times said, yeah, this is way too sketchy even for us. That's right. The same outlet that runs political exposés and think pieces about oat milk straight up refused to touch Blake Lively's story.
Why?
Because it was quite literally suspicious. The second her team handed over those texts, the Times reportedly looked at them and basically asked, did you get these legally? Because honestly, this smells like an FBI-level problem waiting to happen.
Sharp, they're both the...
Intimidating. She's very intimidating indeed. In fact, E.T. straight out asked,
Blake the perfect Emily.
Why is Blake the perfect Emily? Prompting Paul to answer, are they the same?
Blake just embodies Emily in a way that's hilarious because Blake in real life is nothing like Emily.
In a way, it's almost hilarious because Blake in real life is nothing like Emily. So instead of stepping back and letting the truth play out like normal, non-unhinged people do, Blake's team allegedly decided to get creative. And by creative, I mean they supposedly manufactured an entire fake lawsuit using vans and ink to make it look like the texts were obtained properly. This wasn't just shady. This was full-blown Hollywood illusionist behavior, and not the cool kind, like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. More like pulling a subpoena out of a shredder.
It's just acting really awkward. It's just so fake. It's just a show of fakeness at this point. It's ridiculous.
And the New York Times?
They still weren't buying it.
Internal staff discussions reportedly revealed ethical concerns because even journalists have a line, and Blake's team apparently pole vaulted over it without a shred of shame. The idea was simple: slap some legal dressing on the whole thing and hope nobody sees the mess underneath. But everyone saw it.
If the New York Times told them they're not going to perpetuate in a lie, and this other Van Zandt complaint came in to really maybe mislead or assuage the fears of the New York Times, when Lively's team knew they were not true in the beginning.
While her PR team was spinning fairy tales, Travis Kelce was busy unfollowing Ryan Reynolds, and it landed harder than Blake's entire filmography. This wasn't petty shade. It was industry-level rejection, the kind that whispers louder than 1,000 red carpet photos. Kelce's move wasn't subtle. It was a public, "I want no part of this chaos." And when a guy dating Taylor Swift won't even touch your mess, that's a red flag with fireworks.
Out of Travis Kelce for doing his little subtle protest here, because it is a big move. Taylor Swift isn't allowed to make a comment like that. She just doesn't. Her brand's too big. She can't get involved. She's way too involved with Blake.
Blake's PR shield didn't just crack, it shattered. For years, she's coasted on aesthetics, pastel outfits, Instagram-ready kids, and relatable captions written by ghostwriters. But now, the image isn't quirky mom with a dry sense of humor. It's allegedly a manipulative mastermind orchestrating media stunts with forged lawsuits. The glow-up canceled. And while we're talking damage control, let's shift to Ryan Reynolds, the human embodiment of a well-filtered shrug.
It's getting darker and darker.
Because honestly, at this point, he needs to pick a side. Either he's just here for the soccer, or he's the silent enabler in a high-budget character assassination plot. According to new filings, Ryan wasn't just aware. He was allegedly signing off on strategic media placements that cast Baldwin and Ale as the villains. So much for being Canada's sweetheart. This man showed up to everything. The Wrexham win, the Time 100 Gala, the Simple Favor premiere.
Already run down by all the stress and trauma you've experienced in your life, I find it so hard to believe that you can do something like that. And also being in public all the time.
With the energy of someone who definitely knows where the bodies are buried, but is banking on a sharp suit and a forced smirk to keep people distracted. And it worked for about 12 hours. Then social media did what it does best and roasted him. People are literally saying he's no longer Deadpool, now he's Blake Lively's damage control intern. And honestly, that title fits better than anything he's done since Free Guy.
Was at the premiere, along with Hugh Jackman. It's like nothing ever happened. They're at this premiere like nothing ever happened. Oh yeah, everything's good.
It's wild how far this has spiraled. Ryan could have sat this one out, quietly cheered for Wrexham, and let Blake handle her own mess. But no, he had to be front and center, playing the loyal husband in public while his wife allegedly orchestrated one of the most over-the-top PR schemes this side of Scientology. And now he's catching shrapnel because the internet doesn't do nuance. It runs on receipts, screenshots, and unfollow notifications.
Like everything's just going hunky-dory for you. Honestly, they're doing everything they can to just keep moving forward. And if they hadn't done this lawsuit against Justin and made these ridiculous claims, I wouldn't be here reporting about any of this.
The Kelce moment, that blessed unfollow that set off a digital landslide. We're talking millions of reposts, likes, quote tweets, memes, think pieces. Even celebrity shade from people who hadn't posted since 2017 suddenly woke up, like, wait, what did Blake do now? It became the cultural equivalent of the Berlin Wall falling, but with Instagram and legal drama instead of geopolitics.
I can understand why he wants to support his wife. I applaud any man who does and any wife who stands by their man. But he's way more involved in this than he wants to admit. It's so clear as day what he's doing to Justin and the gaslighting they're both doing. It's just too hard to ignore. I can't ignore it anymore. And it makes me look at it.
This isn't just a tabloid detour. This is federal-level drama. We're talking wiretap violations, sham subpoenas, and a woman allegedly orchestrating it all while posing for Vogue spreads. The PR curtain isn't just slipping, it's on fire. And the fire marshal is already calling TMZ. Even media outlets that usually play it safe, ET, TMZ, The New York Times, are treading lightly because Blake Lively has gone from Hollywood it girl to walking legal landmine. Nobody wants to be the next outlet caught amplifying her story without checking with a lawyer first. The days of carefree PR fluff are officially over. Blake isn't just the story anymore. She's the cautionary tale.
Ryan Reynolds is saying to the fans, oh, hold on here, don't push each other. And then he says, I just care about your safety, not mine. I'm not like, what? That's such BS.
And honestly, she earned it. For years, she sold us a carefully curated version of herself. The relatable wife, the loving mom, the cheeky red carpet commentator. But behind all that, allegedly, a woman willing to violate privacy laws, manipulate media outlets, and weaponize her husband's fame just to crush anyone who dares call her out.
He's just on autopilot, pretending to be a supportive husband. I don't believe this for a sec.
So here we are. Travis Kelce has unfollowed. Ryan Reynolds is getting called out as a silent partner in PR crime. The press is freezing her out. And Blake? She's still posting like it's 2015, like nothing's wrong, like nobody's noticed. But people have noticed. And the fallout is coming faster than a subpoena with her name on it. The world is watching now, not for a movie, not for a dress, but because the facade finally cracked. And what spilled out wasn't the quirky girl next door. It was allegedly someone willing to bend, or break, the law to control the narrative. The more she acts like it's business as usual, the worse it looks. So tell me this, should Ryan Reynolds finally wake up and run for the hills? Or is he already in too deep? Because if there's one thing this saga proves, silence isn't neutral, it's complicity. And if he's not careful, Blake's next headline won't be about a red carpet. It'll be about who's standing next to her in court.